Hello, this is Alan again, and I'm reading from a script basically from a recent post that I made around Easter on the blog in my website, and just for those who prefer the recorded format. And the title is Many Worlds. When I wrote this, the day before was Good Friday 2019, and I felt as though I had communicated with people from many different worlds. One with a priestess who is helping me understand interactions with Odin as a personified deity, with my sister who is a Messianic Christian. She was holding a Passover Seder to Yeshua, Jesus. And thirdly, with a Chinese professor who's Protestant, but who was promoting the idea of taking communion multiple times a day, an individual, for healing, and that the bread and wine literally transubstantiates into the physical body and blood of Christ, he was telling me, which surprised me. And yet again, a Canadian pastor who taught a lesson about baptism coming from old Jewish rituals that symbolized washing away of an old life to start a new one. For example, beginning a life as a king, or beginning a life as a husband, or as a priest, or as a new convert. So I felt I had experienced many different worldviews, many different worlds. Now, the many worlds theory appears in science fiction stories where there are parallel universes coexisting, and sometimes people travel from one to another, different versions of reality. And yesterday, the day before I wrote this, gave me the feeling, as I felt these different experiences and these different perceptions converge. A Chinese friend was being baptized in a home swimming pool at our Friday night gathering in a home. And Tao, his name, spoke beforehand and told how he always knew there was a wisdom or power in the universe, but now he felt it calling to him through the Bible. And he was about to be baptized, a Christian, in the swimming pool behind the house. At the same time, this Good Friday, 2019, was his biological birthday. And on the table next to the bread and wine of communion that we would celebrate was a birthday cake. Good Friday this year also happened to be my wife Kristen's birthday, and the Jewish Passover fell on the same day this year. So the day previous to writing this, I also felt led to request my first monthly reading from the priestess healer I mentioned, feeling that this may be a time of breakthrough as I finish, of spiritual breakthrough, but also physical, as I was finishing a second round of prednisone prescribed by a medical doctor to clear out some gout problems I was having. So the sacred and the mundane, the spiritual and the physical varieties of perspective seemed intricately woven together. I thought back to my baptism the day before my own biological birthday back in 1991, when I first broke free of alcohol, a self-destructive life, and a lot of despair at that time. Although recently, I am expanding spiritually and going through changes and learning new ideas, I don't want to forsake the gifts and the grace that I've already established, that have already been given me, the foundation on which I built decades of my life and family, friendships, and faith. So as I participated in the baptism and communion with people from China and America, with people from at least 4 different churches, many different beliefs, I still felt a part of my sister's faith, of the priestess's beliefs, of Tao, also of Tao's wife Dixie, who still has agnostic doubts and skepticism. And I find value in the Chinese professor with the literal ideas about communion. I believe that his expression accesses some spiritual truth that his heart needs, maybe others need. Somehow, these many worlds, these flowing perspectives within me, within any group, or within the world, maybe they're like the river of Heraclitus. The river he described as a physical river. It's in a place, a location that we can define. It's definable. But at the same time, the ever-changing current and the reflected rays of the sun, the warmth, the relativity of time itself, makes that same river indefinite, always changing. So maybe there's something here among us all that is absolutely the river, but perhaps it's a river of many worlds. So that's some food for thought from Good Friday 2019. Thank you for listening.